We announced late in 2010 that the company is now fully invested. Our largest sector is still power utilities, and Russia is still our largest country. The results of being fully invested are first that the company will, for the first time in its history, start paying a dividend. So we have since the start been a growth company, and we will remain to be the growth company, looking for companies in Eastern Europe that grow very fast. So growing our NAV remains our primary target. However, now we're able to add an income angle to the growth story, and I think that should further increase the attractiveness of East Capital Explorer as an investment. Another result of us being fully invested is that we are, of course, now more actively than ever re-evaluating our existing positions. We have done already a couple of partial exits and divestments. Recently we announced a partial divestment from the Eastern European Fund, and I'm sure in the months going forward we will have more of these kinds of events to tell about. Yes, Fondul Proprietatea is a very good company. It was for the entire year of 2010 the single largest position in our portfolio. So we had very big hopes for Fondul Proprietatea, and fortunately the things with this company have worked out very well so far. So first of all, in 2010 they paid an extraordinary dividend, which was fairly large. And then in late January in 2011, they completed a very successful IPO of the company. And as a result of this, we have been now reducing our holding. So this investment has been very good for us. We have, as I mentioned, received cash from this extra dividend as well as from selling the shares, and we still have a big upside remaining with the rest of the shares we have. Wimm-Bill-Dann was an interesting case, a bit unusual for us perhaps, because usually we look for companies that we want to hold for long term. Wimm-Bill-Dann, however, was more of a short-term arbitrage opportunity. We had some cash available. We saw the possibility to make a good gain, as this is a company that will be taken over by PepsiCo. And now, in fact, PepsiCo has announced the offer to minority shareholders. So we intend to sell the shares into the offer fairly soon and realize a very nice gain on our investment of just a few months. Well, I will start with the second part of the question. I guess a lot of things are happening in the world these days, not just in the Middle East, now also Japan. Of course, these kinds of events make investors and markets more nervous globally, and that could reduce the risk appetite again for emerging markets, including these of our markets in Eastern Europe. So I think these kinds of global threats are the biggest threat for Eastern Europe and emerging markets that we see in the near future. At the same time, we see lots of opportunities, because really many of our markets are still trading at very attractive valuation levels. The economic recovery in most of our markets is better than has been expected, and the companies are doing quite well.